Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm also going live, guys, on Facebook. For those of you who like to join me on Facebook and ask your questions, because somehow I might not be able to read your messages or your comments on Instagram. Hi Zorejan. Hi Ida. So good to have everyone here. Also, we might have to do a live tomorrow too, Monday, December 14, because we have an eclipse. So it's extremely important to join. It's a very powerful day, so we're probably gonna do a live tomorrow so we can all tune in and start getting ready, doing some cleansing, raising our vibrations. So that would be tomorrow, Monday the 14th. Hi Mahakjur. Okay guys, so today live is about how to get unstuck. And I'm sure for myself, I have been there and experiencing that. And I'm sure most of us have experienced at some time and point that we feel stuck. So it's a very sensitive and very touchy area that I'm going to try to get deep into it. All right. Now, I believe I taught my energy healing webinar maybe 7 years ago, but I'm going to share a part of it, which was, I said we have 3 kinds of energy. There is a stagnation energy, circulation energy, and also integration energy. So I'm going to get a little bit more into each energy so we become familiar. Now, stagnation is where we also experience being stuck. Meaning, when we think about stagnation, again, like yesterday in my live, I talked about each word has its own energy. So I said, for instance, if you're using the word obstacle feels very like a heavy rock, and it's very heavy to push away or to get rid of. So that's not the right word to use. Instead, I said, let's use the word challenge. Challenge is the vibration is airy, and it's like, oh my God, in the challenge there are so many opportunities. I can strengthen my muscles, I can get stronger, I can tap in to those hidden power, those talents, abilities, capabilities, right? So stagnation energy is, imagine when the water stays still in one place. What happens? After a while, it kind of gets rotted, right? Because even water needs movement. It needs circulation. Okay, so stagnation is the energy that is blocked, is the energy that it's not moving, it's not flowing. On the other hand, circulation, we talk about blood circulation, everything is circulating. Circulation is the flowing energy, which is great. When we are in circulation energy, we're moving, we're doing things, we're lighter. And then the third energy, integration, is the energy when we pull back from life and we kind of integrate, we go within ourselves, and we somehow digest the information, the event, what's going on. I talk about this also in my, hi Matthew John, welcome. I also talked about this in my Love and Soulmate webinar, which I said sometimes as partners, we get into arguments or something, we split up, and then we go into that integration. We kind of shut down everything else, and we go through the situation, and we see how we really feel, what are our apps and program, what has been running, right? And then we also look at the other person's lens. Where is that person coming from? Where is he at? And we see his lens, and we see her lens. What are the lessons here? So we go through the lessons, we do all this thing, and then in integration energy, right? Let's suppose that I break up with my lover. We're soulmates, we're twin flames, whatever. We split up, and then I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling hurt. There are so many feelings that could arise in that moment. You know, I haven't been heard or seen or blah, blah, blah. Okay? So in this place, as I integrate, I go within myself, I come to a higher awareness, what went on, what was going on, and then I look and repeat and go back to the story, and I look at the story, okay, we had this argument, and why was that? That was because I was constantly looking for attention, and I wasn't getting his attention, or he was not available, he wasn't around as much, or he would come home or she would come home, and it was a still conversation from work. So we brought the leftover from work home, and we either complain about what was going on, or how we weren't appreciated, or blah blah blah, or we got into an argument with this and that, or so we would still bring the leftover from work home, and then we felt left out. We felt like all our conversations was all about business or this or that, right? So when we integrate and we're going through all this thing, then we somehow open up our lens and we see, okay, so what was my programming? Where was I coming from? If I was feeling that I'm constantly attracting unavailable people, that they're so busy with their mom, or they got to do this or they got to do that, what app or program is activated in me that I'm constantly seeing the same thing? Someone who's not paying attention to me. So at this point, I come to myself. When I realize what the app is, then I come to myself and I said, oh my God, I am the love and attention that I'm looking from outside. It's what I need to get from myself. Whatever I'm looking to get from outside, the meaning, the reflection of this universal mirror is that you need to give it to yourself. So I will start by giving myself more love and attention and fill up my tank. Remember, guys, I talked about a few weeks ago, I talked about our emotional bank account. And I said so many of us has withdrawn so much from our emotions that our bank is not only empty, but we have overdraft our accounts, and right now we are minus. And in that live, I talked about how to start filling up our bank account. by giving ourselves more love and more attention and taking care of ourselves, by not putting ourselves in an abusive relationship. You know, when we notice that we are in a relationship that is way overdue and we are being abused, we're still staying there, we're still hanging out there. And that's when our emotional bank account goes to 0, 0, 0, 0. So I said we start by giving ourselves more compliments. We start to own our powers more. We start by saying, what am I good at? What are my abilities? And we start giving ourselves more credit for who we are. And little by little, we start filling up our bank account's tank, and we get to the point of 0, and eventually we start, remember, it comes to my mind right now that last week I said I couldn't take compliments. So every time someone said to me, oh, that's a beautiful dress, I would say, oh, someone give it to me. Or it's an old dress. Remember, we had this conversation a couple of lives ago. And if you guys weren't in that live, go back and watch that live again. That when I'm not worthy, I cannot receive compliments. So I was constantly, when someone throw a compliment at me, instead of saying, thank you for noticing, I constantly push it back. It's an old dress. It was given to me. Oh, do you really think so? La, 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 right? So this also come in loving ourselves, that when we notice that our emotional bank account is minus, we start giving ourselves more credit, more love, more attention, more acceptance. Okay, and we fill up our tanks. Now, coming back to our topics today, being stuck. Okay, so I don't have to tell you guys right now that you are in first energy, which is a stagnation energy. And you have always heard that from me. The first step to resolve any issue, it doesn't matter in what area it is, the first step is awareness. It's coming to my attention and to my awareness that my energy right now is stagnated. That's the awareness. The next step is, now I need to make this energy to start more joy. Yes, Overdrawn. To circulate this energy. Okay, so right now, here's my question for you guys who are joining me from Instagram or Facebook. Tell me, what areas do you feel stuck? One area could be relationship. Okay, we are in a relationship that, like I said, it's not fulfilling. We're not happy. We know that whatever talk or therapy or whatever we have done hasn't helped to improve these relationships. We are coming from two different planets. I am from, remember that book from John Gray? Men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? So he talked about, in his book, he talked about that he realized that there is a huge difference between men and women. So when we understand and we know that, and we see in our relationships, we don't understand one another, you know, my ideas, my thoughts, what I like or what I love, and all these things, they're not matching up. Then I come to myself and I said, maybe it's time to leave this relationship. Okay? And oftentimes, guys, we could, is that your class, Zora? Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, we stay in a relationship that, and I have been there and I have experienced that also, guys, that you are in a relationship, but you feel much lonelier and alone being in that relationship that if you were living on your own. How many of you guys, write to me, How many of you guys have experienced that? That you are in a relationship, but your partner is never around. I was doing a session the other day that she was telling me I have to force him and I have to push him, Ladan, hi Ladan, to go on a walk with me, or to go do something together. Or even if when we're home, he or she is just constantly doing his own thing, like it's in the phone and doing business and is blah, blah, blah. So you feel alone. You're not nourished emotionally. Yeah. You're not nourished, yes. You're not nourished emotionally because the other person is physically existing in a relationship, but they're not really emotionally there. Okay? So relationship is a huge area that a lot of us are stuck, and we need to somehow either go to get a therapist, get a coach, or someone who can help us move this stagnated energy from stagnation to circulation, right? Now, who was it? There was a psychiatrist many years ago. I find that very interesting. He said therapy can help people not because of what the therapist or psychologist knows, but for what the person knows. So oftentimes you're afraid to get get a session with a coach or a psychologist because you're worried about what they're going to tell you. That's not the worry part, and it doesn't matter. What it really matters is that where are you with yourself? What do you know about yourself? Or what is it that you don't know about yourself? That's the important part. So when it comes to feeling stuck, guys, the first thing, because remember, going back to our teaching, hi Farshad Jun, welcome. Going back to our teaching, I said we have two lenses, right? On the right side, the camera and the lens, which is the mind, the ego is behind it, right camera. The left camera, the soul, is the heart camera, which is only love, acceptance, it is what it is the soul behind it. Okay, so when you're feeling stuck, guys, which camera is operating? Obviously, you know that being stuck is the ego mind, because you're not really stuck. Is the feeling, is first a thought, why nothing is moving? How come things are not changing? How come things are not improving? So you know firsthand that you are coming from the camera and the lens, which is mind, and all the programming, subconscious, and the ego is operating and running that machine. You are already aware of that, right? But what I want to bring to your attention is the ego mind creates the problem and issue, bold it, show it to you every day, right? And then the ego mind wants to find a solution right away. And that's where people go wrong. When you feel unstuck, the first thing the ego mind said, how do I get rid of it? How would I change it? And that's not what this is about. When you feel unstuck, the majority of people are not, they want to get unstuck, but they don't care at that point about happiness, inner peace, joy. It's the same thing. When you feel miserable, when some really bad trauma happens, you want to find a solution. You get really involved to find a solution to that dilemma or trauma, But you're not really actually thinking, what's your goal? Your goal is to be happy now, to feel joy and happiness. So be mindful that when you feel unstuck, don't try to get rid of it and get unstuck right away. Sit in it. Feel it. Being stuck. Where am I stuck? What is this? This is an emotion. And also remember, there's a saying that we say, you can leave somewhere before you arrive there. You gotta arrive somewhere, then you can decide you want to stay or you want to leave, right? So we have to fully get into this energy of being stuck, and don't try to find a solution. We just want to experiment this. Okay, it is the feeling of being stuck. How is this feeling? Then when you feel like, okay, it could be lack of energy, it could be confusion, it could be sadness, even depression. It could be many things. Then you come to your awareness and say, who is the one who is feeling this feeling? And then in your awareness, you're coming again to yourself and you realize, oh, the ego and the movie in this machine is playing the stuckness and the emotion of sadness, of unworthiness, of depression, of not being enough. It's playing. But are these feelings mine? Then in my awareness, I come to, oh, because I was unconscious or unaware, I let the movie being played by the ego. Now in my understanding, I understand that I'm not stuck, right? I'm not blocked. That's just the energy, like anything else. And when I'm aware, I can consciously change this energy to a flowing and circulation energy. Okay? So, like I said, one of them is, first of all, we realize where are we stuck. This next step is why are we stuck. And then when we realize that, we come to our awareness, oh, this is what, this app is open. Oh, this is that. When it comes to our awareness, then the third step is the solution. Now we come to how would I maneuver and change these beliefs or these feelings into a moving energy. Now, please everyone, hi Flora John, welcome. Now, please all of you stay with me. Right now at this time, year 2020, December 13, we know that we are going, the whole earth is going through a huge transformation. The energetically, everything is moving. We are finishing one chapter. It was funny. Yesterday I was talking to Zore, and some video that is circulating, it came to my attention, and this guy, he was saying, I'm gonna give you something that you never heard. You only hear it here on my Instagram channel. We are moving to a Aquarius time. And I was like, whoa, is this news? Didn't we know? Like, it's been going around forever that we're changing from one to whatever year, 2,500 years, we are changing the arrow and we're moving to what is Aquarian. Aquarian, you know the sign. Aquarius is all about higher consciousness, humanity, the love for the planet Earth. Don't mess up the Earth. Clean up the Earth. That's all it's about. So we are moving to a different era, and everything is shifting energetically. What we need to be aware is that we're ending up one chapter and we're moving to a new chapter. And in between the old me and the old story and the new me, where I'm gonna go, right now there is a gap because I haven't quite ended up the old story and I haven't entered the new story or the new chapter. In between here, we might have a lot of feelings. Okay? What we do, guys, we start by experiencing a lot of emotions. Now, let's go through these emotions. First of all, if you're going to end one chapter, let's say, let me put it this way so you really get it. Let's say that you have been in a bad marriage and finally you are ending that marriage. And then you want to move in to find yourself and to start up all over again. It doesn't matter if you've been married for 20 years, 30 years, you have 10 kids and that stuff. Finally, you're going through this transition to end this chapter and start a new life with freedom and go after your goals and your lives and your dreams. You ended there and you want to go there, but you're here. This is a bad feeling that suddenly you feel like, wow, where am I? You know, like you're floating into the air with no grounds, and this can bring in depression, anxiety, feeling hopeless, feeling lost, feeling confused. So this is all normal, guys. This is natural. This is the time that we are all going through. Okay? So get this and realize whatever you're feeling right now is correct, because that's leading you to the next era, which is much, much better. Can you all observe this and get it? Oh, I am actually in the right place. This is where I need to be. This is fine. And whatever depression, confusion, not knowing, whatever is going on here, this is natural, because I'm transitioning to another era, which is higher consciousness, which is more freedom, which is more fluidity, right? So accept what's going on right now is exactly what needs to be going on. And that brings us to the next step, or the next energy, that is the energy of void. Sometimes I feel that I can solve every problem. Sometimes, yeah, that's fine. That's normal. Green tea. Now, what does it mean that we are in a state of void? Let me share a personal story so that could really resonate with you guys. When I start my journey from being in front of a television, TV hostess, going after my acting, training, it was all about my body and and looking good and whatever. When I was in this stage, I had a splash moment of awakening. And I told you guys that story. I don't want to repeat myself, right? So I just got into an energy of circulation. I did my first seminar in Dubai that I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going. Everything was just happening. You can watch my seminar, Sudi Yazdi's seminar in Dubai, right? Now, I had a 4-day seminar in Dubai. 1/3 of that has been edited and cut out because of loads of crazy things that happens there. And it was too much for the humanity consciousness at the time to understand what I was doing. Maybe if you would have watched those things, you would think, oh, she's an alien. She's coming from another planet. How can she heal so many people, do all this thing, get somebody up, lift somebody up? So anyhow, right after that seminar, the next one came. I did 3 months after that. And my ego was soaring. My ego said, wow, if you did your first seminar and 100 and something people signed up, then you're going to go boom, you're going to go up. I wasn't quite aware of my ego. It was a very new era for me. 3 months after that, I did my second seminar in Turkey. Wow, wow, woo, woo, people become hypnotized, whoa, all these things, right? We totally lost the footage, 4 days seminar from that event, which is everything is happening for a reason, right? Right after I came back from that trip, everything stopped. Literally, I'm not kidding you, for 5 years. First of all, I got attacked by so many people, threatening messages that we're going to do blah, 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 blah. And I was also, at the time, I was majorly in the business of supplements. I had my own supplements and herbs and this and that and that. And literally, I came back. It was a September. And everything stopped. Even every package that we sent to the customer, one by one, they were coming back, returning. And every day I would come, open the door and see 5, 6, 7 packages has been returned. Stay with me, okay? So basically, I got threatened that I cannot continue this work. And then I left the television for 3 months. During this time, as everything is coming back, I felt totally confused, like what the heck just happened? I was moving and all that power and all this thing, and all of a sudden, boom, I can't move. Everything stopped. So I left the TV for 3 months, and then loads of emails. People were getting depressed. Oh my God, what happened to you? Why aren't we seeing you? And blah, 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 blah. And I was just watching everything. Now, after 3 months, I said, okay, because I was the first person who came on television at the time and exposed everything about healing, about higher consciousness, about different entities, about aliens, about blah, 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 blah. And then, so I got stuck, right? And then I came back and I said, okay, I'm coming back, toning it down. I wouldn't speak anything about energy healing because a lot of people got affected by it, who were helping me out from work and da. I'm not getting into the deep end of it. But anyhow, I came back to start talking about nutrition and exercise. Nothing about energy healing, blah, blah, blah. So for 5 years, at a point, I realized even my TV show weren't getting as much views after my comeback, because now I open like a can of worm. I give the awakening to people, talking about energy, talking about aliens, talk about astral projections and all this thing. And now people didn't want to hear about nutrition and about exercise. And I couldn't do it. It wasn't going with my soul. So I decided to leave the TV again because, and a lot of people said to me at the time, you are really destroying your career because you had a career of someone who has a science of health and nutrition and this and that. And once you change that into energy healing and blah, blah, you're totally going to lose your credit. And at that time I said, that's fine. I'm not going by the credit that I'm getting. I'm going by what my soul has come here to do. Okay? So I left the television again. I went to the mountain, shut down everything, no internet, no phones, no la la la, morning till night, meditation, quietness, walking into nature, da da da. And this was the space that I'm talking about. This is the void space. That I was thinking nothing is happening. Whatever I would touch, I even started a retreat. In the mountain, I got this huge house that it was just made. It was like a movie. This room named this, that room named that room. I said, this is perfect to have a retreat here for people to detox, meditation, mind, and da da da. No one signed up for that, right? This is the void that nothing is happening. But that's where we're making a mistake. Because although this is a void space, somehow the universe is telling us this is an upgrade, going to a higher level. So at that time, I started again. Once I surrendered to that, and I had a conversation with the universe, I said, I'm surrendering. Okay? I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to do anything. I just sit here on my own, in my space. I don't touch the phone. I don't touch the social media. I don't touch anything. I just stay here. I surrender. Okay, so once I surrendered to that and I accepted this is the space of void, although it might seem like nothing is happening, but I am getting ready to transition to a higher or a different realm. And then everything starts moving again, okay? So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is to embrace this void, that nothing is happening, nothing is taking place. This is fine because you are going somewhere else. So the third thing that I want to talk to you about being stuck is our triggers. Where do you guys get triggered? Do you get triggered by your children? Or one child in particular, a husband, a wife, the mother, the boss, the co-worker? Where do you get mostly triggered? Is it in the relationship? Because relationship, guys, it's a major, major thing. It's huge. Because it's in the relationship that our wounds will show up. So, it doesn't matter where and from whom do you get triggered. What you need to realize is anytime somebody says to me, oh, you look really fat. Oh, you have put on a lot of weight. And I get triggered by this comment. It comes to my attention that, oh, there is a wound within me that still need to heal. So I'm letting go of the one who made the comments, right? So let's say I've been I've been working as a personal trainer, and one of the comments that I was hearing constantly, it didn't matter where I was, at the post office, at the gym, at the restaurant, wow, what a beautiful body. Okay, so I was getting accustomed to hear that. And I was doing so much to hold on to that. Therefore, I could be starving myself, I could be over-exercising, I could be, every party that I went, I never touched the sweets, I never touched rice or carbs, just a little protein and salad. So because that image was much more important, that identity, I had to keep up, that no matter who sees me, they tell me, what an amazing body. Okay? So eventually, I come into myself and I said, why is it so important for me to keep this up? And then I backtracked this, and it came to my childhood. The message I constantly got from my mother: you are the most beautiful. The expectation of my mother: you are the smartest, but your niece and nephews are always like top score, right? That comparing and that expectation from my mother has led into me putting so much pressure on myself. I mean, one of the reasons when I left when I was 18, it was just to prove to my mother and everyone else that I can make it by myself. I don't need anybody's help. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do the best, right? And if you remember, yesterday I said, when I talked about my OCD, I said I used to do every exam less than 20 minutes. And I always had to get hundreds, right? You might think, what an amazing thing. Oh, she's so smart. But you don't realize what's the backup story, that I had to be the fastest, the quickest, always had to get 100. This was the expectation and the programming from my childhood. So once I realized that, I let go of a lot of things. Dear Sudi, after I started watching your videos, I feel very light and good. You explain everything very clearly. The only thing that really wants to be good at it, to be connecting to my soul. Okay, Rose. You want to connect to your Rose. You want to connect to, okay. Yeah, I'm not enough. Yes. Most of us, we have that app on. Now that you're aware of these apps and the background, next time when somebody grabs your back and your love handle and say, oh my God, you're so, what is this? What is this? Sometimes partners do that to us, you know? And you get really upset and you get really triggered. Instead of getting angry at your partner, go within and say, where did this wound started? And how can I heal it? Triggering, when we get triggered, it's always about someone who is touching a wound. And it's not about that person. It's just about us to get direction of where to go to get healed. And that's all I have to say. Now, many people, I see many people who are talking, they're in the spiritual, assuming that they're in a higher consciousness. They're underestimating how conscious and aware others are. And I hear that a lot. Oh, I don't talk about my evolution. I don't talk about, because people don't understand. What? You think that at this age and time, 2020, from the transition that we're going through, people don't know what higher consciousness is. They don't know what energy healing is. They don't know where you're going. That's where you're wrong. I want you to stop underestimating how much other people are aware. Okay? And at this point, I would like to bring this to your attention, that if your throat chakra, your expression is, the energy is stuck there, start circulating it. Start sharing deeply your feelings, your journey with others. And you be amazed that so many of them understand you. And then they will open up and tell you, oh yeah, I have a download, blah, blah, blah. I have downloads all the time. I know about 5th dimension, 6th dimension, 8th dimension, 11th dimension. I know about all this stuff, right? But what I would like to ask you is not to try to pull anyone with you. Because I know this is a natural pattern. When we go on a diet, we want to force everybody else. Oh, you know what? You gotta eat this. You shouldn't eat that. Why don't you come? Don't eat that. Don't stop that. We become a control freak because we have decided that we want to go on a diet or we want to start the exercise routine. So what I'm bringing to your attention, don't beg, don't force anyone to come through this journey of awakening with you. Not everyone wants to go there. And not everyone needs to go there. Leave other people alone. Okay? But express yourself. Talk about where you are going. A lot of relationships are ending or falling apart because we don't communicate, we don't express ourselves. So many times I had a session and I said, have you told your husband that? Have you told your wife that? Have you told your mother that? Oh no. Why haven't you? Oh, they don't understand. Oh, they're going to have a bad reaction. Right, Ida? Yes. Thank you, Zohre, for being mindful and not doing that anymore. All right? So, to me, guys, friendship has always been very important. And I always chose my friend very selectively. Although my energy has always been very interesting for many people to jump up and take some of my energy, but I try to be mindful and aware of who I'm allowing to come in my life as a friend. Okay, but what I'm trying to say here right now is that I didn't pick my friends because of if they were conscious or they weren't conscious, if they were in spirituality or they weren't. My friends could be musicians. They could be smoking pot all day long. That wasn't an indication that oh, you are high all the time, you can't be my friend. No, that's not the indication of who they are. Okay, that's a tool that they're using, but that doesn't mean, that's a habit. It doesn't mean that who they are. But often I stick with friends who were really, truly, solely sharing things with me. I didn't want to have a half-ass, excuse my language, friendship. How are you? I'm fine. How's the weather? Good. How are you? Where did you buy your clothes? Did you honestly? I didn't want that. I don't have time for this BSS. Okay? So either I have a friend that we deeply share from the soul part. And I say, look, I am, or that person say, I am confused. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I am lost. That's a deep conversation. So what I'm bringing to your attention right now is open up yourself to others and explain to them where you're going. You're ascending. The energy is shifting. You are in a transition to go somewhere else. Be expressive and do that. Okay, guys, I talked. I rambled along too much. Now I'm going to go to Q&A. Okay? Who has a question for me, guys? I am open to questions. And I'm going to start by responding to Rose. The question has been, how would I connect to my soul? I would love to connect from my soul. And I think the answer could be very simple. You know, guys, I'm not good with internet, and when I come to read your thing, something comes up, and then I don't know what to do with that thing. All right? Ask your question on Facebook so I don't have to roll up all that stuff. Facebook, Sudi _Burnett. Before I forget, guys, I need to ask everyone a favor. And that is for you guys to share my videos. To share my videos and also subscribe to my new YouTube channel, because we're trying to separate the English and Farsi together. So the YouTube channel is Sudi _Burnett. And I would like you guys to subscribe to that new YouTube channel. And if I have to give you guys a gift, no, you don't have to. Thank you very much. I don't have to give you a gift, all right? So, don't forget, guys, share my videos. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, English YouTube channel, Sudi _Burnett. Rose. In my previous webinars, I have talked about this. When you search for something, when there is a need, that means you are separating yourself from it. Let's say I'm hoping and wishing to be prosperous. What am I saying? Prosperity, wealth, it's something out there and it looks very good and tempting. It is a desire to have it, but I don't have it. I'm separate from it right now. Thank you, Zora June. Thank you for being such a good pal and doing all this thing for me. Zora is also on my Telegram channel, guys. By the way, it came to my attention last year, exactly this time, I was in Turkey, Konya, because of Rumi's birthday. Yeah, 1 year has passed since last year, this time. And this time is the same as last time. But, Heide June, hi honey, have you just joined Heide? If you have just joined me, please watch each one of these videos, not just once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Okay? Because this information has to be sink in and be digested. And what you missed was that you have to share my lives. Heide, share them to family and friends. Yes, thank you, honey. That they don't feel good. And also subscribe to my English YouTube channel, Sudi burnett. Has Sahar disappeared? Where is Sahar and Tara? I don't see them on my Facebook. All right, so coming back to our subjects, when I want something, there is an urge and there is a need. Where I'm going wrong is that I'm separating myself from it, right? So if your urge is coming from the soul, what's between you and your soul? And as I said, either ego is behind the mind or the soul is behind the heart. So if you're not feeling that you're coming from the what? Okay. My higher self is saying, it's hard to have a conversation when your higher self is also chatting in your head in between your conversation, and then I get distracted. Oh, my higher self said you shouldn't. I'm just kidding, higher self. I get it. Okay. My higher self said that you need to tune down the ego mind station. It's playing too loudly right now. Thank you. Did you get it, Rose? Does that make sense? So, yeah. What? Okay, Rose, I need to tune in. They have more messages for you. The dominant energy, Rose, for you, what is highlighted here is I don't deserve it. Now, get that undeserving and see where it takes you. If I am not deserving, would I be prosperous? No. If I'm undeserving, would I be in a healthy, loving relationships? No. All right? Now, this is something that you have to work on in the third energy, which is integration. You need to tune in, and my higher self already said that. He says the ego station is playing very loudly. When that station is very loud, you cannot hear your soul. Because remember, I always see the soul is very lovey, toppy. I have this vision of the soul, right? Oh, by the way, guys, when I was, it just came to me. When I was going through this transition of the healing and all that stuff, I had many crazy dreams. And one night I remember I was wearing this white fluffy dress, like Sufi dancing dress. And I told one of my fellow actors, I said, hey, Iman, look, I can just go up there. And suddenly I was like up on a high top floor. And then I can just come back down here. So I was getting a lot of dreams about how our soul is transparent and can do anything and go anywhere. And then I remember another night I was like tuning into someone in Florida. I walked into his house and I never been there. And I walked into the house and my soul went upstairs. It went to the closet and I could see every jacket, every shirt, every shoes vividly. And then I came down again, and then there was he bought this multi-million-dollar house in Florida, and then everything was from the living room, first floor, everything was glasses. You could see outside. And then instead of me opening the door, the glass door, I just went in there. I went to the yard, and it's like the ocean and the boats were passing by. And then I was very confused because I didn't know. So I called a friend. I said, hey, I just came. I think I came to your house. Is it like this? Is it like 2 floors? Is it like glasses? He was like, oh my God. I said, I could even see the shine on the shoes, the brown shoes. I could even smell it. That's what our soul can do, guys. But at the beginning, I was like, well, really? That? Ooh. Did you see that? So I was seeing many, and I'm going to share this with you too. It was funny. I remember one night I dreamt that I was standing on top hills, and the vision was like all like very beautiful, like cactus and all like false plant, orange and that stuff. And then I came to the other side, and it was the ocean. And then I looked at the ocean, and I was really on high place. And I heard jump. And the first thing when I look at the ocean at the depth from up there, it was so scary. And I said, I can't. I'm a good swimmer, but I can't. And then at the very end, you could see an island, like with tropical trees and that stuff. And I said, I'm a good swimmer, but I can't swim that far. And again, I heard jump. At the second, I was hesitating, that fear, I was feeling like, oh my God, like jumping all the way down and swimming. And I was getting myself prepared. And when I heard the third jump, as soon as I jumped and I went with it, all of a sudden, I didn't even hit the water. I landed at the other side of the island. And these are all when our soul is showing us, when we operate from soul, what are our capabilities. And then this one is really funny, because after I landed there, I got the courage and I said, oh, I want to go back and try it again, like little kids that they dive for the first time and then the fear goes away and then they want to redo it. So when I came back, that scene didn't repeat again. I saw that Jesus Christ came from under the water. He arises. And then I looked at Jesus and I said, oh my God, he's not that good looking. And the Jesus that I saw, that later on, many years later, I saw they're circulating this picture of Jesus, that he was an Arab. I saw exactly his nose was a little cross. It was a big nose, brown eyes, and like curly hair. He wasn't good looking. And I looked at Jesus and I said, oh my God, he's not that good looking. It's like, that was my judgment, right? So, yeah. This is what I mean by switching from mind to the soul. That my soul was constantly showing me I can walk through the wall. And I often hear people, they said, did you come over to my house last night? I could felt you. Did you come? Did you come? Did you come? Did you come? And I said, I don't know. I probably, sometimes my soul is going places that I'm not even aware, right? But often it happens that when I go to sleep, the first second that I fall asleep, I'm going somewhere. It could be a husband and wife, they're arguing, they're throwing dishes, and I wake up and I'm like, where was I? And who were these people? Because I don't know who they are or whatever it is. So, yeah, we could do all this thing. Why did I tell you this story? To make it more tempting for you guys to want to come from your soul. Now, Rose, you are the soul, and you know that that's the true you. But the Undeserving, that app is like, oh, can I really be my soul? No, I can't. Oh, that's too good to be true. Maybe some people can do it, but not me. Work on undeserving. You have to be deserving. That's the app. That's coming from ego mind. But anyhow, if you want to get deeper into it, we can have a session. I'm going to end this webinar live today, guys, because we got to do one tomorrow. And tomorrow is an amazing day. Tomorrow, we just have to go there. A higher dimension. I love you, Rose. I love you, Rose. I love you. I love you. I love everybody. Because, Rose, you are also within me. And every time when I hear something or something comes to my attention, what did Dr. Hulan said, guys? Dr. Hulan is known for, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Dr. Hulan said, every time something comes to my attention, I know that's within me. So by you, Rose, asking me, bringing this thing, you are bringing to my attention right now, oh, I need to be more deserving, because that app is also in me. What is happening tomorrow, Sahar? I'm not going to tell you. I already said it. I don't know where you were. So, when coming back to unworthiness, guys, sometime I told you, I shared that with you a few weeks ago on my webinar, that I said I wasn't coming out in English because I was thinking to myself, what do I have to say? I have nothing to say. Everything that has to be said is already there. And that was my stuckness. And when I realized that I do have a lot to say, and it doesn't matter how much people are saying this thing there are specific people who will connect with me and they won't connect with someone else. So I said to myself, stop being stingy and go live in English and share. Because it's not just about sharing, guys. It's about the energy that's coming out. It's the energy that you're receiving. Talking about this part, guys, I had this conversation with Zora this morning. I said, so often I see that people get so tricked by someone's energy. She was kind enough to have me go do a join live with someone else. And I said, no, thank you. And I have often noticed that you get tricked. Anyone who talks about love and we are love, they don't come from love and light. Because this is a trend. Often people use this as love and light, as something to get people, get follower, bring people in, to be noticed, to be heard. But if you could really see deep within someone, you know what I'm talking about. So we need to be so much more sharper, mindful, to be able to really read behind and deep underneath the energy. I don't know if you guys know John of God. John of God was a healer from Brazil. That's what they called him, John of God. You can search him under that. And he became huge. And I went actually to see him one time in Toronto because he came there and I couldn't go to Brazil. And I bought a two days webinar. And once I got there, there were 2,000 people. I entered, I felt the energy, I sat there, I looked at him, I walked out. And it's been a couple of years that we heard that John of God got arrested and he got in jail because he was abusing, blah, 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 blah. That's all there. Oprah went there and she did an interview and he came out. It's the same feeling and energy that I had for Oprah. I knew deep underneath something is not clean, let's say. Anyhow, maybe I shouldn't be saying this stuff here. But my point generally is that it takes a lot to really be able to read underneath the energy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for coming. I have to keep telling you, share the videos and subscribe to our news. I put it up here, Sudi _burnett. Love and light. Till tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, Facebook. Sudi Burnett English. Is that what it calls? Thank you, Sahar. Sudi Burnett English, guys. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Love, 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 love.